You have encased yourself in metal, priest. You may trick age this way, but you cannot trick death.
This unit's service life is not determined by entropic degradation. The Omnissiah determines all. He is greater than entropy.
None shall stand in my way.
Okay, so far no one... Ooh, you have a name. Vinzlex. Let's grab these goods first. Pascal, if you would open that up for me.
Success is an irrefutable certainty.
Do I need to re-give medkits to anyone? Specifically... Argenta, you've still got one. Cabela used her last one. I don't think we need to grab the large medkits. Where's all of our small medkits? There we go. We've got 47 of them. Okay, that's a little excessive. Then Abelard. Sure, you can hold on to a couple more. Argenta has a medkit. Can I... Yes, I can restock that. And then she has a couple of grenades, which I think is good. Let's go talk to this Vinzlex. Draped in a red cloak, the Magos' body barely looks human. Wires, tubes, and metal manipulators turn him into a whimsical machine, while implants hide his face behind a sinister mask. The text priest intermittently dictates something in Technolingua to the servoskull floating next to him, but at your approach he falls silent and offers a reserved bow. Greetings, your lordship. Lex Mechanic Vinzlex. How may I serve you? Pascal and the Lex Mechanic exchange trills of binary greetings. This series of sounds issued by Vinzlex sounds much longer and more deferential than those of Pascal. What do you do here on Janus? The tech priest's mechanical voice comes from the speaker on his neck. By order of the Adeptus Mechanicus, I have been entrusted with the management of the Adeptus Administratum in order to catalog agronomic data and analyze information about the planet during the process of subjugating it to the will of the Imperium. Be blessed, Tech Brother. Your diligence and the diligence of those like you turns anarchy into order and bestows classification into knowledge. One of Pascal's mechadendrites lightly touches the Lex Mechanic's body. The tech priest bows respectfully in return, clearly a little startled. Then tell me about Janus. Initializing report. The planet's soil possesses a unique composition suitable for the re-engineering of the planet and the mass production of foodstuffs. Significant cultivation of the Eastern Hemisphere with the aim of improving production, processes, and logistics operations. Traces of xeno activity that do not pose an immediate threat to ongoing operations. Undesirable pathologies of flora and fauna have been noted which may pose a threat in the short term. What pathologies in the flora and fauna? Genetic and chemical pathologies, Your Lordship. Harmless species mutate and become aggressive, while plants change their chemical composition and become poisonous. This is happening more and more often, and if no action is taken, the ecosystem of the world will be irreparably disrupted. The changes may be artificial. Has the possibility been considered that someone is manipulating the ecosystem to reduce our living space? Not at all, Venerable Magos. Our tech comrades from the Magos Biologists are humble workers, not warriors. They could not have come up with a thought of such a militant nature. The mind must be open to all forms of knowledge. I order you to commence a check. In the event that your account of the indolence of their minds is confirmed, I will petition for the appropriate penance. How's the governor dealing with the undesirable pathologies? I have analyzed the genome of the affected species, and I am currently developing suppressor genes to make the planet's organisms resistant to pathology, but so far I've not been able to solve the problem. Further exploration of the planet would perhaps speed up these processes, but the administrative apparatus has imposed a ban on expeditions that are not directly aimed at improving production. Traces of xeno activity? According to data obtained during the initial survey, ruined structures of non-human origin were noted in different sectors on the planet, but I did not have the administrative capacity to study them in more detail. For now, I must defer the quest for knowledge. The Lex Mechanic speaks the last words with distinct envy. his eyes fixed on Magos Hanuman. Alright, let's talk about something else. I'm listening. How many servants of the Adeptus Mechanicus are there on the planet? According to the data stored in my cogitator, all infrastructure nodes for food harvesting and processing have their own contingent of technomats. The total number amounts to 253. Correction. Based on the latest data, the figure is 211 units. How are things with you and your fellows? The current situation on the planet is assessed as stable. The progress of the prospects is assessed at encouraging. Alright, we'll talk later. As you wish.
I won't tolerate weakness.
Tech priests are great. So, we have a servo skull following us around just proclaiming our greatness. That is an odd choice. Ah, you. You're our sniper.
Iliad Lenevus greets you, Elantark.
Irliet. Yeah, you definitely look weird. They're claiming mutant. But that does not look like Imperial weaponry. I'm still thinking Eldar, and you're just claiming to be a mutant. The bizarre creature before you only vaguely resembles a typical human. An elongated body, slender limbs, pointed features, every aspect of its appearance is unnatural and alien. The creature turns its head to you. What is Ellen talk? You are not a mutant. So you're the governor's mysterious helper. Why you call me Ellen talk? I spoke to the Magos in charge of operations of the planet. He says something's gone wrong with the world. There are spontaneous mutations, animal attacks. Maybe you have something to say about that. Or I must take my leave. I mean, the governor is convinced that this mutant is helping the planet, or helping fight back the rebels and maintain order. So for us to say you're responsible, or suggest that she's responsible for the mutations and animal attacks. But I don't know why an Eldar, assuming that's what this is, would be in a human city helping humans. I also wish I could hear her pronounce her name again. Irilet, was it? Irilet? Say your name again. I'm gonna hold off on the you're not a mutant. But I'm almost certainly going to say that at some point. So you're the governor's mysterious helper.
I am Elantark. My hand parried the death promised to the ruler of these people, and I aided you in battle against the Lost Ones.
Why are you helping the governor?
This world is in distress. I wish to protect it from unnecessary suffering.
What do you know about the rank-and-file rebels?
Only that they threaten the established order. There is much risk to this world should the ruler die.
Huh. Elet's face is unreadable, but you detect a strange tension in her voice, as though she is choosing her words carefully. Do you know who is behind the uprisings on the planet?
There is a malevolence here that drives your kin down the path of violence.
Your answers are not particularly helpful. Why do you call me Elantark?
Because that is what you are. Elantark means stranger from the darkness amidst the stars. You descended on flame-winged machines in a dark time when the air of the planet is soaked in blood and pain. Will you be the one to bring peace to the Lilithon?
What is Lilithon? Yeah, I'm gonna say, your answers are not particularly helpful.
But you are not asking for help, Elantark. You are merely asking questions, the answers to which are either unimportant or wreathed in shadow. Explore this place. Speak to those who know. simple task for you, and an insurmountable challenge for me, since my very appearance provokes fear and suspicion. When you learn anything, tell me. Perhaps then my answers will be helpful to your search.
Irlet hesitates and then adds more quietly. If you want, you can join me. None of the locals will dare to look askance at you in the rogue trader's presence. I'm not certain. If she is a potential companion, then I will have a hard time turning her away because that's how I play games. But if she is straight up as an Eldar Xeno, and we're playing dogmatic, that we're gonna just ask. You're not a mutant.
I have met souls like you before. You travel a path that offers you enlightenment. A rare gift among your limited kind.
Irlet stares at you with her strange eyes, wearing an expression that is remarkably difficult to interpret. At last, she arches one eyebrow so subtly you almost miss it.
My soul is nothing kin to yours. Your kind call us xenos, as if we are all as one. I came here to protect the Lilithon by assisting the governor against her enemies. Will you hear me, or be blinded to sense by your precepts?
Yeah, so she is admitting that she is a Xenos. Okay. You have 10 seconds to get out of my sight, Xenos, starting now. Rogue Trader Von Valencius will never speak to vermin such as Xenos, as if they were equals, so if you want to live, you will address me with proper respect. I will speak with you, Irlet Lenavis, but keep your hands where I can see them. And to be honest, the only part I understood was that you have no desire to fight. That's one thing we have in common. Or dogmatic, attack. I don't converse with the enemies of humanity. Yeah, that's the expected dogmatic answer. Huh. Again, I'm expecting companion. Part of me is like, man, I should have just gone iconoclast. I'm struggling with the dogmatic choices. I like the flavor of it, but I also struggle to go that hard into dogmatic. Like, dogmatic feels good from a 40k perspective, but iconoclast feels better from a just playing the game perspective. I don't think I can bring myself to do this one. I'm thinking one of these two. I will speak with you, but keep your hands where I can see them. Or the, I understood you don't want to fight, I don't either. I think I'm going to go with the, I will speak with you, but keep your hands where I can see them.
I have banished the shadow of doubt from your thoughts regarding my nature. Now you will answer my question. Why have you sought me out?
Irlet inclines her head by an infinitesimal amount. How did you come to be on Janus?
The world you call Janus
Janus,
was once
okay.
created by the will of my kin. I have far more right to be on the Lilithon than any of you.
The Lilithon. So she has used Lilithon a few times. Is that what they call this planet? Or is Lilithon some word for a specific type of planet? Because they say created by her kin. So is Lilithon just a name for worlds they have created? And how deep are we talking in the meaning of created the world? Did they do some terraforming first, or did they literally grab a bunch of rock and throw it together to eventually create a planet? I spoke to the Magos in charge of operations on this planet. He said something's gone wrong with this world. There were spontaneous mutations, animal attacks. Maybe you have something to say about that?
The Lilithan is expressing her wrath. For centuries, this world has resisted the brutality inflicted upon it by soulless machines and unmindful creatures. But what the machine man told you, that is something else. Something more frightening. The planet is fighting an evil that has taken root in its very cradle.
And now we come to a decision. Invite her to join my party, kill her as a xeno, or just walk away. I'm gonna have her in my party regardless, as much as it doesn't make sense. Yeah. So, part of me is, I'm not going to do the dogmatic attack. At some point, she's going to join my party. The question is, do I walk around first and try and get more of a feel of what's going on the planet? Or do I get her in my party so that she's more likely to give responses about what's going on as we walk around? And I think getting her statements as someone who is familiar with the area will be helpful. And I don't have a good role-playing reason of why I would take her into the party as a dogmatic character. Except that I'm a rogue trader, and so I'm allowed to bend the usual rules. So, yeah. We're gonna take her into the party.
So be it. I will go with you.
Irla is silent for several seconds, her gaze fixed on something beyond you. Slowly drawing out her words, she replies.
But Domin, this is a xenos. The tenets of the blood-spun web warn us about their deceitful and vicious nature. They compel us to destroy them on sight. She is an enemy of the undying Emperor, and she is driven by dark designs.
I'm expecting we're going to get this response from basically our whole party, because our whole party is dogmatic.
My judgments and choices are for me alone, monkey. If uniting with your master will bring peace to the Lilithan, then it is the true path. Do not get in my way if you value your next breath.
Your attempts to intimidate me are as hollow as the lies seeping from your lips. Only the Domin's grace stands between my blade and your throat, Xenos.
I am ready, Elantark. Let us go forth.
Irla is a Xenos, one of the Asyriani? I don't know that word. She's a ranger who follows the path of the outcast, and her skills have in ranged combat are without equal. Irla does not use human weapons and can wear either Aeldari armor or, if she learns the required feature, Drukhari armor. Irla's unique ability instantly ends her turn. However, at the start of her next turn, she will make an attack that always hits its target. Okay. So she's now mandatory in the team. They've thrown Abelard out. What? I wish they would tell me what their class is before we get to this spot, because I'm quite certain she's not a warrior. So it would make sense to keep Abelard. I'm kind of thinking Cabela. Cabela hasn't struck me as terribly powerful combat-wise. Yes, ranger, but she's probably, because she's got a gun, she's probably a soldier or an operative. I'm guessing. So I could replace either of them. And maybe Argenta, because surely she's going to be More accurate with her guns than Argenta ever is. Maybe that's the call. We kick out Argenta and take her. I was thinking Cabela because she's not particularly powerful combat-wise. But no, if we're going to have a sniper, which is what she seems to be, that's typically where Argenta also falls. So that seems like a more natural replacement. Okay, let's look at your character. Figure out what your deal is. She's an operative, actually, not a soldier. Analyze enemies, expose weakness, yeah. So she's an operative, but long range as opposed to Pascal, who's front line. Irla ends her turn at the start of her next turn, excluding extra turns. If possible, she makes an attack that cannot miss and does not count towards the attack limit per turn on one creature within 36 cell radius. Okay, she's got some cool abilities, it looks like. Child of the Assyrian, who has chosen the path of the outcast and willingly left their craft world to wander and explore the cosmos. Outcasts are masters of survival and skilled sharpshooters who prefer to destroy their prey from afar. You might be overleveled? Maybe. The Aeldari are supernaturally agile and can advance their agility, perception, and awareness skills regardless of their archetypes. They also gain plus 15% dodge and plus 2 initiative. Craft worlds are colossal vessels that carry the remnants of once great and numerous Assyriani people through the darkness of the void. Each craft world, a marvel of psycho-engineering and self-sustaining abode over such long periods of isolation from the rest of their kin, even unique cultures have formed among the craft world's denizens. So what's the difference between the word Aeldari and the word Assyriani? Because it seems like in some places they're calling her an Aeldari, but in other places it's saying she's Assyriani. And these descriptions of the Assyriani are from craft worlds. I thought Aeldari are in craft worlds. So are those just interchangeable words? I don't know. Maybe Aeldari is like a giant umbrella that covers a bunch of different types of Aeldari, and Assyriani is one of the subcategories. So we've got you as an operative right now. I have one of each of these options already. I don't think assassin, because assassin seems to be a lot better melee where you can move around to focus on attacking a specific side of an enemy. Hit and run tactics, yeah. Bounty hunter could work. Argenta sort of fails as a bounty hunter because she just doesn't do enough damage. I don't think we need a second grand strategist. Cassie is doing fine there. Could go executioner. Then she'd have the same options as Pascal, who is also an operative executioner. No, this focuses on melee damage. I guess that makes sense with the giant axe. Probably bounty hunter makes the most sense. out of these options. Well, there is some amount of duplication of roles for her. So yeah, you got Hunt Down Prey. Familiar with that. Claim the Bounty is still pretty good. Cull the Bold. Bounty Hunter's next attack this turn will have additional effects. Deals additional ballistic skills bonus damage. What is your ballistic skill? 55. So an additional 5 damage. Target's armor will be reduced by an amount against all the Bounty Hunter's attacks until the end of combat. The target's armor against this attack is below 20%. The target's dodge is also reduced by an amount against all the Bounty Hunter's attacks until the end of combat. Additional damage of the Bounty Hunter's attacks is increased to plus 11. The target of the attack is marked as prey. Its armor and dodge are also reduced against the attacks of the Bounty Hunter's allies. That was not bad. Bounty Hunter's next attack during this turn will have 100% over penetration and 12% armor penetration. An attack that hits a target marked as prey is always a critical hit. Yeah, I kind of like all of those. Bounty Hunter sets a trap on a free cell and a 10-cell radius from them. Any enemy entering... Yeah, I don't think I like the trap idea. Because it's hard to know where an enemy is going to choose to move. And if you place a trap that the enemy doesn't move over, it's just wasted. Bounty Hunter designates an enemy in a 10-cell radius as trailed and finishes the turn. All allies gain a hit chance. If an ally kills a trailed enemy, Bounty Hunter gains an extra turn. So this just allows your allies to help out with your hunting of your prey. Until the Bounty Hunter's next turn, whenever an ally attacks a target marked as prey, this attack deals 6% additional damage and gains half the Bounty Hunter's current bonuses to critical hit chance. I'm going to mark those ones particularly as good. That one's fine. And that one's fine. But let's go with Cull the Bold for now. Whenever prey is killed, all enemies in a 10-cell radius, which is most of the battlefield probably, have their agility reduced for 2 rounds. Not bad. Whenever the Bounty Hunter scores a critical hit, they gain armor penetration until the end of combat. Stacks, also good. Whenever an enemy is killed by a critical hit scored by the Bounty Hunter or their ally, the Bounty Hunter gains damage for 2 rounds. I like that as well. Reducing armor helps with those other abilities that are based upon enemy armor going down. Whenever an ally kills prey, the Bounty Hunter gains half the bonuses. I don't think I need to focus on withdrawal. It might be good, but I'm hoping I can keep her far enough back that we're not worried about an enemy attacking in melee very often. Critical chain, that sounds cool. Whenever the Bounty Hunter kills an enemy with a critical hit, all allies in a 7-cell radius around the target gain it target's difficulty tier % critical hit chance until the end of combat. That's pretty good as well. I wish there was something I could do to increase my critical hit chance, because so much of this stuff relies on hitting crits. Ooh, whenever you kill an enemy whose difficulty tier is 4 or higher, the bounty hunter immediately reloads their weapon and attacks the closest enemy in their line of sight. The reload weapon is potentially really cool. And a free attack is also pretty cool. We already picked up Coldebold? Yes. So this just makes Coldebold even better. That was the one that... Yeah. Just does a bunch of damage to their armor. And dodge. So this would make it also do damage to their deflection, willpower, and toughness. Hunter's ambush. We're not dealing with immobilized or stunned very often, so no. Ooh, plus 9% critical hit chance against enemies affected with one of the following: prey, trailed, or immobilized. We can make an enemy prey easily and then immediately get a 9% bonus to our crit chance. And that'll kick off everything else. So we could get Drukhari capability. And then we have all of our usual stuff. Alright, with that all out of the way. I think I'm actually just going to go with pounds. Oh, it doesn't help the bounty hunter themselves. It's the bounty hunter's allies. Of course it wouldn't be that good. I was so excited. Which attribute increases our chance of scoring crits? Is that agility? Initiative, dodge? No. Perception? Reduces enemy dodge. I don't think it's just ballistics. High ballistic skill indicates that the character is a Deadeye. The base hit chance for ranged attacks. I don't know. I'm not sure how crit chance gets determined. But I wish there was something I could do to increase it. But it's not seeing it. I don't know. Reducing agility for a bunch of enemies feels like it could be good. More damage is also great. We'll go with more damage. Okay. More AP. Boost your ballistic skill probably. Yeah, it's not even an even number right now. So let's turn that into an even number. Common traits. We could give her the Drukhari. What is in my sights? I wish I could go see a list of her known features. But I can't. Not in the middle of a level up, and I don't want to redo all of this. Can I hover? No, of course not. So whatever in my sights is, it only costs 1 AP, and we can, when using it, gain additional armor penetration or dodge reduction. And this one's not based on ballistics bonus. Dodge reduction equal to ballistic skill. So a 60% reduction to enemies' dodge whenever we're using that ability. That sounds really good. I don't know if we want to use Drukhari equipment, so no need to choose that yet. Boosting random skills doesn't seem to matter overly much at the moment. Boosting characteristics could be cool. No, 60% dodge reduction feels potentially really good. Let's complete that. Find in my sights so I can see what that ability is that we just boosted to be even better. Why am I not seeing it? There it is. Oh, that's her special ability. The attack cannot miss. So the fact that we've reduced dodge on that. So does that mean it's guaranteed a hit, but the enemy has a chance to dodge it? And now we've basically nullified that chance to dodge? I guess. Let's see. What is your focus? You are primarily nothing. You have no points into any of the 3 trees. Because I was wondering if she was going to just be straight heretical, being a xeno. But no. Odd. Very odd. I guess we can read her biography. Few can claim that to have survived an encounter with a xenos, and even fewer to have struck up a friendship with one of these creatures. However, the privileges of a rogue trader allow one to make acquaintances, even among the children of Asurian. That is what the kin of Irlet Lanavis, a mysterious and taciturn Aeldari, call themselves. See, again, they toss out Aeldari now. Hey PTX Live, welcome. We are playing through Rogue Trader and it's going well. How are you? Path of the Outcast led Irlet to the agri-world of Janus, where she met the Rogue Trader. In joining his crew, Irlet hopes to travel to the distant stars and uncover the mystery surrounding the demise of her craft world. This Aeldari will go to any lengths to accomplish her mission, taking even the most desperate measures.
Victory awaits!
Yeah, definitely an odd choice for us to bring an Aeldari into our crew. An otherworldly silence reigns under the arches of the gazebo, perhaps a sound barrier. Generator is mounted in the dome. The ivy covering the archway gives you off a delicate, heady fragrance, although you do not see any flowers.
I'll lay claim to the stars.
What a splendid estate! I have seen pics of our ancient manors in the House Orcelio archives. This place is very similar.
It's a pity you were denied the chance to grow up in such surroundings. I can just picture a young lady navigator, relaxing with a book in the garden after her lessons.
Yeah, that's probably how things would have gone for her. Well, let's explore this side before we start going too far forward.
Follow my lead!
Okay, we've got servitors, various goods. Not much of note over here yet. Old servant. Are you unique in any way? Yes. Hearing your footsteps, the elderly servant grabs an injector and stabs it into his arm. The area around the needle immediately starts turning black. You're too late, Viet's dogs. I'm the master of my own fate. But when he gets a better look at you, the man drops the injector in astonishment and seems poised to prostrate himself on the floor before you. It's you, your lordship. The God Emperor must have brought you here. I beg you, help the rebels and save Janus. Help the rebels. You got the game a while ago but didn't play it. Scared about the difficulty. I do have the DLC. I think there's only one DLC so far, Void Shadows, which added a new companion member. That's Cabela right here. As well as she has a whole quest line on our ship. I don't know if there's been any other DLC yet. The difficulty hasn't actually seemed that bad. I think I'm playing on normal difficulty, and it just seems pretty standard for a lot of CRPGs. I don't know. If you think about things tactically, you can usually do a pretty decent job. That's been my experience. He doubles up, hugging himself, and is racked by coughing that leaves his lips wet with blood. Forgive me, your lordship. If only I'd known it was you. My eyes deceived me. We have little time now, but I swear, I'll tell you everything. Looking closely at the old man, the tech priest utters, nerve toxin. The inevitable cessation of vital functions is expected in no more than 60 seconds. Silent clicks emitted by the visor indicate the ongoing pict recording. Cabela picks up a drop of poison from the needle with her claw and carefully puts it on her tongue. She makes an approving sound. Strong toxin. We apply something similar to the lips of new initiates of the blood-spun web. It kills minor nerves and purges one's sensitivity to pain. For this layman, though, it is a certain and violent death. Say whatever it is you want to say and be quick about it. You help the rebels gain access to the estate. What did you inject yourself with? Or dogmatic, execute the servant. Death to traitors of the Imperium. Yeah, having the do everything mentality helps. Yeah, I'm trying to do everything, but I'm also trying to be dogmatic. Dogmatic is very shoot first and ask questions later, as we can see here, which means I miss out on opportunities if I take all of them. So I'm having to sort of choose between taking the dogmatic route that I want to take versus playing as much of the game as I can see by ignoring dogmatic routes. And it's somewhat a hard decision all the time. Like here, I might still execute this guy for being a traitor, but first I want to hear what he has to say about why he thinks the rebels are on the right side. Say whatever it is you want to say and be quick about it. In the name of the Golden Throne, your lordship, show mercy on the humble workers. The salt of Janus, save them. Vistenza Viat, the untouchable governor and leader of the nobility, is creating something monstrous behind closed doors. She used the Imperium's interests as a smokescreen and purports to be a scholar, but her actions are poisoning our planet. They're claiming that she's the one poisoning the planet. Did you know that the settlements that fail to pay their due tithes on time have been allowed to pay with people instead? They even deliver them to order. Sometimes old folks, sometimes children. He lowers his voice to a whisper and leans towards you. I've seen those people. I've seen them being delivered to the estate, and they're never seen or heard from again. They go into the secret rooms, and they don't come out again, your lordship. Ever. Peasants who are taken to York 5 to serve House Orsilio were never seen or heard from again either. They became loyal servants and toiled for the good of the great dynasty. Why should they ever return to their filthy, squalid abodes? The old servant lets out a moan. The dark stain on his arm seems to creep through his veins until his arms and neck are a latticework of blood. The servant's breath quickens and becomes irregular. You accuse the governor with only conjecture and rumor to back up your words. How dare you? What secret rooms? What else is going on in the settlements? You can still be saved or execute him. I think getting more useful information feels better, because if he's telling the truth and the governor is corrupt, potentially a heretic, then that is more important than the fact that the people are rebelling against a heretical ruler. What secret rooms? Hidden chambers deep within the palace. I've never been inside, thankfully. The servants who are allowed in, the ones the governor trusts, they change. She changes them, pretties them up, defiles them. I see no shadows of deceit behind your words, and even so, I would have noticed. I know I would have noticed the signs of which your let's face tenses like a taut string, and doubt creeps into her expression. Except whenever Vistenza hosts one of her dances at the palace, she sends me away to search for the rebels, into the forest, far from human settlements. The servant shakes and coughs violently. I'm not sure I'll last long enough to answer all of your questions. What else is going on in the settlements? I'll tell you exactly what I was told by the people who contacted me. These tithes, the settlements have already switched to paying with people. They say that amenable settlements get special treatment from the governor's dogs. They arrange for medicine to be supplied to the settlement, then security. Then they completely isolate them. All contact between those inside the settlement and the outside world is cut off. One lad managed to get out. He's the one who told me all this, that the people are rotting alive in there. Strange growths, yellow eyes, stinking like dead bodies. The worst looking ones are rounded up and taken away. The fellow who escaped, he seemed fine, but within a couple of days of the rebels picking him up, he started seeing monsters instead of people. They had to lock him up away from other folk, the poor sod. And then his wrists. The old man starts to convulse, indicating that he is close to death. He raises his already unseeing eyes to you. Your lordship, if you'll permit a dying man to make one last request, don't tell anyone that I was the one who unlocked the doors. If you do, they'll go after my family, my home. No, I've not asked all my questions. I will keep your secret, or your accomplices will answer for your treachery in your place. I'm not going to promise him either way because we need to do more investigation. So, no, I have not asked all of my questions. You're not allowed to die yet. Please, save us. Save Janus. The servant rasps violently and collapses on his side, racked with convulsions. Alright.